Owen set it on my desk and stepped back. Small, black rectangle. Smaller than a thumb drive. Voice activated. I picked it up and turned it over, and the indicator light was off. But the device was warm. I'd seen that exact model before. Dale's bag, 3 weeks earlier. His car cup holder on a Tuesday morning. The credenza in the back of conference room B. I'd noticed it, told myself it was nothing, and kept walking. But this one was at my desk. Not the conference room. Not somewhere shared. He came to where I worked, put it behind my power strip, and left. He crossed into my space before I ever knew there was a line to cross. And I'd been sitting 3 feet from it. Every single day. Without knowing. Owen didn't say anything. Neither did I. I set it back down. I went back to my screen. But I already knew what I was looking at. Dale had been my manager for 2 years. Thursdays, intake report, 30-minute debrief, leave. Same room, same chairs, same 30 minutes. The kind of routine where you stop watching what's around you. Dale had this habit. Every time you said something to him, he repeated it back before responding. Word for word. Every time. I thought it was just how he listened. I don't think that anymore. He went through every conversation I had in that building, every debrief, every break room exchange, every time I said something unguarded. He kept it. He stored it. He sat across from me the next Thursday and said nothing. 2 years. He went through mine for 2 years and said nothing. I didn't move for 3 days after Owen found it. I went to work. I ran my reports. I sat through Thursday's debrief and watched Dale's mouth form my words back at me and kept my face completely still. On day 4, I submitted a facilities request for the building keycard access log. Standard operations pull. Nothing that flags. The records came back 2 days later. I opened the file and ran my finger down the column. Dale entered the building at 6:10 a.m. On every day, a performance conversation was scheduled. Not every morning, not randomly. Only those days. He went in before anyone else arrived. He walked the floor, he set up. He was already back at his desk by the time I badged in at 8:45, like I always did. He crossed back over the line before my workday started. Left no trace. That wasn't routine. That was preparation. I pulled the company communication policy the same night. Read the full document. Found the applicable state statute. And read that too. The shared floor. The break room. Conference room. B. None of those spaces are covered under single-party consent where we work. He didn't find a loophole. He broke the statute, quietly, repeatedly, for as long as he'd been doing it. And he put the devices back each time, like nothing had been touched. My transfer request was denied 8 weeks ago. That same afternoon, before I'd read the denial, before I'd told anyone, Renata from HR had already blocked time for an informal check-in with me. Already scheduled. She ran the meeting, kept it light, closed it with no notes, no documentation, nothing on record. She went through the motions and left nothing behind. That evening, I sat at my kitchen table with the access log printed out in front of me. I went back through 2 years of Thursdays in my head. Every debrief, every sentence I'd said in that room without thinking about it. 30 seconds of the right clip. Dale plays it in the wrong meeting to the wrong person. And I'm not appealing a transfer denial. I'm walking out of the building with a box. He had 2 years of my voice in a drawer, and I'd handed it to him one Thursday at a time, without knowing. But he made one mistake. He came to my desk. He crossed into my specific space, put the device behind my power strip, and walked away. And I knew. And he didn't know I knew. And every recording he'd made in a shared space was a statute violation. His. The recordings weren't leverage over me anymore. They were exposure. His. I didn't call a lawyer. I didn't go to Renata. I didn't send a single email. I walked into Dale's office on a Wednesday afternoon and sat down across from him. I brought nothing. No folder, no paper, nothing in my hands. I waited for him to settle. Then I said, "I know what's behind the power strip at my workstation." Dale looked at me. Then, same as always, he repeated it back, word for word, slower than he normally did. His hands stayed flat on the desk. He didn't move them. I asked him to reconsider the transfer timeline. Then I stood up. He didn't look at me when I walked out. He looked at the desk. 3 weeks later, the transfer was approved. I packed on a Friday afternoon. Stapler. A notebook I'd never opened. I pulled my charger from the wall and reached behind the power strip. Empty. He'd come back to my desk while I wasn't there. Picked it up and left. Came back over the line one more time. Touched what was mine one more time. Put it back exactly the way it was. And said nothing about it. I didn't look around the room. I didn't check for Renata. I picked up my bag and walked to the elevator and didn't look back down the hall. Dale left a voicemail the same evening Owen found the recorder. I saw the notification that night and put my phone face down on the counter without opening it. That was 5 weeks ago. I don't know what's on it. I don't know if he knew Owen found it that day, or if the call was something else entirely. I don't know if the transfer was the move working, or Dale clearing me out of the way before something lands that has nothing to do with me. I don't know if Owen found that recorder by accident. My phone is on the table. The notification is still there. I haven't touched it.